Hey guys, that is the accurate, within a dollar or two, gold and silver price. And if you want any, call that number, because that is my wife. She works for Miles Franklin, and she will walk you through purchasing your first. We have a lot of first-time buyers, and several people are rolling their Roth IRA or 401k over. You know, they're hedging against inflation and volatility and all this other crap that's coming down the pipe. Now, I want to read you a few comments first, because there's nothing better than boots on the ground. Okay, my local meat processor back in March 2022 told me their next opening was in July of 2023. A 15-month lead time. I'm guessing it's even longer now. I've got a side hustle idea at the end of this video. Hey guys, if you like this information, please hit the like button. It will share it with all the other like-minded people around. And the kindest thing you can do is share. Thank you. Buffalo Richard, the Buffalo Richard. I know him personally. He's a great guy. Can't wait to see you at the next get-together. Hay was $35 a bale, and it was fertilized. This year's hay will not be fertilized, and it's $45 a bale. The difference between fertilized and unfertilized hay is food quality. By feeding unfertilized hay, I will have to also feed a protein supplement, which runs about $100 a tub. Last year I bought 100 bales at $3,500. This year, assuming the number of livestock, I will need 100 bales plus 25 protein tugs. That will be $7,000. I may use a few tubs less depending on the actual protein in the hay. This doesn't account all other costs, but this covers the bulk of it. I can see why many ranchers are unloading livestock. And they are too. I hope to have these conversations with more ranchers that are doing their thing, because, you know, we're getting ready. Now, the news today, Jamie Dimon. And if y'all don't know who Jamie Dimon is, this J.P. Morgan's billionaire guy. He's like the chief executive CEO. He's everybody. He's the thing. He's the who's in the know kind of guy. And I got a whole list of them that is going to help us understand our surroundings and what's coming, because these guys get in position early. They're not like the peasants that are trying to get rich overnight. They get in position, like Michael Berry said, you get in position a couple years early and you assume the broken clock status. Takes a little while to get there, but you're right. Brace for economic hurricane. Where's my hammer? I got an earbud warning. Earbud warning. Brace. He's worth somewhere between $1.6 and $1.8 billion. You know, that's only $100 million or so. You know, a couple $100 million. What's that between friends? These people that I'm about to show you and bring to light, because that's what I do, are multi-billionaires. One of them's not, but, you know, we're talking major mucho wealth. And I'm going to put it right here. I made a video 5 months ago when the stock market was close to all-time highs, because nobody can pick the top and nobody can pick the bottom, warning what they were doing. I'll roll a little bit of it right now.
You hear the same things in every bubble. This time is different. It's a different financial world. It's a new financial world. In fact, Groucho Marx went to his broker at some point and said, you know, I just don't understand how these prices just keep going up. And the broker said to him, well, you just have to understand that it's a global economy now. And this was 1928, 1929. Gee, I think I've heard that sometime since then.
Some professional speculators sensed that the market was overheating. The more astute got out during the summer.
Jeff Bezos, Walton family, look at all these huge super stock sellers. They are getting ahead of the curve. Don't let them lie to you guys. Now, there's a lot of us that have these stocks. Amazon, Google, Facebook, you know, Walmart, the big ones that are at all-time highs. And the CEOs and the owners are selling. So that should be kind of a, hey, look what's going on. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. Look at these things happening right in front of our eyes, because it's so hard to see it. It's so hard to see when it's actually happening, and it's so easy to do nothing. So that's what they were doing then 5 months ago. Now, I saw it coming back up, and I called Jack. I saw Jack at Nobody Special Finance. Super good guy, better than Gregory Manarino. I mean, this guy is He's got a big old head and it's slap full of brains. And he was sold all of his, not all, a lot of his stocks, more than he'd ever sold in his life, at almost the top of the market. I thought that was so cool, and it would encourage people to take advantage of it. So I got him on a Zoom call, and we did a video, and I'll put that right here. So that was 2 warnings that I kind of put out, because I will never tell you what to do, because I'm not a financial advisor. But I'm smart enough to do what the rich people are doing. You know, it's not that big of a deal. They don't, what is it? They don't tell you what to do, but they leave clues. Well, that's what they're doing right here. So he says, this is Jamie Dimon, brace for an economic hurricane. U.S. equity and bond markets just lurched lower in price. And the dollar spiked higher as a combination of headlines hit. Okay, the dollar is spiking higher. What is that? The DXY, the Dixie is what they call it. And that's how good the dollar's doing. I know, the dollar's trash, and, you know, gold and silver is the way to be. I got a lot of gold and silver bugs here. But what we need to understand is the dollar is the world reserve currency on the earth. That's what everybody runs to. What are you going to do if real estate falls out and you hold a bunch of real estate? What are you going to do? You're going to sell it for dollars. What are you going to do if car prices are going to fall out in 1 month and you know it? You're going to sell it for dollars. So the dollar is that's the first thing people run to. That's what you really need to make that connection. The dollar, the world reserve currency, is the most fibrous, floatiest turd in the punch bowl. It's the last one that's going to go down. You know, all those are going, hi-de-hoo. And it's going to be up there kind of hanging out, just right there. Well, that's exactly, I couldn't paint a better picture, I don't think, because that's what's going on. Now, it is a fiat currency backed by absolutely nothing but faith. Okay? That's why most of these people I'm going to talk about, and I'm sure all of them do personally, but the wealthy, the elite, they hedge their wealth with gold and silver. Now, this might start to be sounding like I'm trying to sell you gold and silver. I don't care where you get it from. I really don't. I'm not making my living off of gold and silver. I was buying from Miles Franklin before I ever started selling for them. I just thought it would be a service. It would be a good thing to do, get people into God's money where there's so much of it, and that's it. They cannot print it out of thin air. Fiat currencies last, on average, about 600 years. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to edit. Fiat currencies, on average, last about 50 years, and there's been 600 on the face of the earth. There's been more than that, but that's the ones that we kind of look at. And they return to zero, their actual value. They're backed by nothing, get it? So all of them go to zero, and their average time they live is about 50 years. We are in year 51. It's craziness. So as our currency is dying, I'm urging people to get into gold and silver. You don't have to buy it from me. I recommend actually buying it from your local coin shop. I bought from Miles Franklin first before I was ever affiliated with them, and then I went to the coin shop, and I didn't like going to the coin shop and carrying a big heavy sack out. You know, I don't know. It was just better to show up discreetly at your door. That just seemed to work out better. But, so no, we don't sell it from here. It never comes here. All right, so it's a hurricane. That hurricane is right there, down the road and coming our way. We don't know if it is a minor storm or if it is a superstorm Sandy. That's timing. We don't know how big the hurricane is. We won't really know till it gets here. But what I do know is when the millionaires and the billionaires are selling massive chunks of their stock, that's a cue. That's a, hey, what's going on over there? You know, Financial Prepper told me the billionaires are selling. See, I didn't say to do anything. I'm just letting you know what the billionaires and millionaires are doing. And it would have worked out for everybody if they would have done what the millionaires and billionaires are doing. But here's the problem. They're so early. They've got to be. They've got to be early because they have so much. So when you've got a massive pile of money, you can't just walk up and sell it all real quick. No, it's a big deal when they sell. So they sell in small increments. I wouldn't say small, but they sell early when everything's really hopped up and hopping. That's why it's important to pay attention to those guys. So I've showed you the 2 videos. Now I want you to go back and look at the stock market. Go look at where it is now. And I'm going to keep going with this story, but try to build this narrative. Try to talk me out of it. I'm serious. Get in the comments and tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me how the stock market's going to keep going up forever. Tell me how the housing market is just going to keep hitting all-time highs. I would love to hear about it. I'm serious. I will go to bat with anybody that would like to have that conversation, because nothing goes straight up forever. So we're going to have this downturn. They happen. They're in cycles. All right, Michael Burry. If you don't know Michael Burry, he's the one that they made the movie out of, depicted by Christian Bale. It's pretty good. It's got some foul language in it, but it's really good, and I recommend watching it. He says the market has plenty of room to plunge. The hedge fund manager says he's not exactly bullish on the overall market. Some people would call him a perma bear. He's known for his Big Short, the movie. As I said about 2008, it is like watching a plane crash, Burry wrote last week in a since deleted tweet. Now, this is a quote from like 2 days ago, or I don't know when it was. They delete his tweets all the time. I just got a clip of it. It's not fun, and I'm not smiling. See, this isn't fun for anybody. So, a lot of people think, well, I got gold and silver, and when the market crashes, I'm going to be rich. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on a pile of gold and silver, Bitcoin. If you've got all the resources and you're the richest guy ever, if you don't have somebody to serve food, to grow food, if you don't have goods and services, life sucks. So goods and services is what makes wealth worth having. So this is going to suck for everybody. It's going to suck less if you take action. Because remember, the easiest thing to do is nothing. Okay, next, billionaire Carl Icahn. Icahn. I-C-A-H-N. I don't know how to say his name. I've seen him. I can see his face. He has an ominous warning. This is a warning from a guy that's worth $15 billion. He is urging that a lack of leadership in top U.S. firms will exacerbate the economic repercussions of inflation and rising geopolitical tensions. Quote, inflation is a terrible thing when it gets going. You cannot get the genie back in the bottle too easy. We saw it in the 70s, and it really does. What's happening now kind of resembles the 70s. I wasn't alive then. I know the Ninja was on a big wheel. There's the economic ninja. If you don't want to follow that guy, you should. There's a lot that happened in the 70s that molded the 80s. And anybody that lived through the early 80s that had crazy high interest rates and all this other stuff that they lived through. I mean, I talked to people with 14 and 15% interest rates. I just, wow, how did you deal with that? But we're going to do it again. Yes, interest rates are going crazy up. When they right now we're doing QT, quantitative tightening. It's like money burning. When they start quantitative easing again and they blow up inflation, they're going to try to calm it down with some more tightening. And that's going to be raising interest rates. They're already creeping up. In the last 20 years, you had cheap goods coming from the Far East. That is true. Look, I built the best squat rack on the earth. I've got 10 left if you want one. I'm not building any more of them because I cannot beat China. I can't beat them. I decided I was going to make something made in the USA. I got my hats. They're made in the USA. They're stitched in the USA. Everything on it's from the USA. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care if I sell any. And I sure didn't sell. Well, I sold a few. But it's not because it's not a great product. It's because I can't build it cheap enough here in the USA. And I'm not going overseas. I just won't do it. That's the way it is. And the last thing Carl said was, quote, I really don't know if they can engineer a soft landing. I think there is going to be a rough landing. All right, I got a few more. And this guy's stupid rich. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm going to butcher it real good. You might as well butcher it good if you're going to butcher it. Nagoob Sarwis put gold investing on steroids. He is the heir of Egypt's wealthiest family. When asked why he invested half of his net worth in $5.7 billion at that time in 2018, I'm telling you, these people don't stay rich by getting in late. They get there super early. They get there super early and they wait. Sarwis explained that he believed gold prices would increase to 1,800 shortly. They did. He also called the stock market overvalued, saying they were going to crash. And they did. Now we've had this crazy check mark thing, and it's really wanting to crash. So it looks like we're in this dead cow bounce area. Look at the chart. It looks like a boing, and when it loses that, who knows? I am not a chart analysis guy. I look for Jack to that. Go to Jack's channel, Nobody Special Finance. He's got some really good info on all this. Next, Sam Zell. I don't know if you know who Sam Zell is. Let me just tell you. I'll screw it up if I don't. He is a real estate mogul. He started in 1968. I want to say he's the biggest real estate investor in the U.S. It's crazy. The guy has never been in gold and silver, ever. He says, for the first time in my life, I bought gold because it was a good hedge, Sam Zell told Bloomberg. Quote, supply is shrinking and that is going to have a positive impact on the price. There's only so much of it. And it's getting harder to get to. Right now, they got the price papered over with fake paper. You know, there's a lot of people that have SLV and GLD in the stock market that own the same ounce of silver. I talked to a guy the other day. He tried to get a monster box delivered, could not do it. He was a multimillionaire and could not get it delivered. He sold it for cash and then he bought it. But just know that's going on, and it's obvious they get fined all the time for it. Zell's reason for ending the gold investment is further explained in a discovery of large deposits are coming increasingly rare after the price of gold corrected in 2011. Next, Ray Dalio. Just so you know, Ray Dalio has got a crazy good video, and if I can figure out how to put his video in here, I'll put it right here. It's about cycles and how superpowers. It's really long, but man, I've met some super wealthy people. They don't need any more money. They're like, I met one last weekend. He's like, I don't need any more money. You know, I'm good. It's crazy to see that kind of wealth. But these people are willing to help. And it looks like I'm really good at picking out good people. And I don't know Ray Dalio. He might be a scoundrel. But just at first glance, he seems like a really good dude just from the content he puts out and from the things he's telling people to do. So I'm going to put his video somewhere. If I put it over there, so be it. If not, I'll try to link it in the description about how cycles work and how they intersect. Superpowers intersect with superpowers. I can't do it justice talking about it. Watch his video. I'm serious. It is that good. He recommends gold investing over stocks and invest over $400 million in gold. Ray Dalio is the founder of Bridgewater Assets, which manages $140 billion. That is nuts. It's just crazy. Quote, sell stocks, buy gold. In 2017, Bridgewater increased its gold holding by 525%. I'm going to have to put a chart up. These guys are so early. They're just early. And in 2020, the hedge fund upped the ante and now holds a remarkable 20% in gold. Congratulations if you've been buying gold and silver because you're doing what the wealthy are doing. It's that simple. If you have, wait a minute. I know I'm going to get this comment. I'm going to get this. You can't eat gold and you can't eat silver. Well, good luck eating stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, and let me know how the cash salad tastes. This is for people that have more wealth than the food they can buy. You need to have food first. Well, God first. Food, your family your food's going to feed your family, and that's the main thing. But After you've got your food, what do you do with the rest of your wealth as it's eroding out from under you? You going to buy land to be a farmer? That's not in the cards for some people. So some people like to hedge their wealth. It would be just like buying oil. $100 barrel in the Thunderdome is a deal. You know, there's no telling. We could see $150, $200, $300 a barrel in oil. And you could accumulate oil barrels if you wanted to. Or you could put the commodity of silver in your pocket that goes in solar panels and this cell phone and that camera and the computer and all this other stuff that we absolutely have to have. So you get what I'm saying? The gold to silver ratio is like 83 to 1. It's way down right now. And it does that. It gets out of whack and then it'll come back. I don't care where you get it. You can call that number and get it and have it delivered to your door. Or you can go to the coin shop or you can go to wherever you get the best price. That's the main thing, is just get it. But before you do that, I would rather you have some food. Guys, I want you to have an awesome, awesome day. Later. All right, I almost forgot the side hustle idea. There's a lot of meat processing places that are overwhelmed. I mean, we heard from the comments before that they just can't take anymore. What about a mobile meat processing trailer? Like a big trailer that had your meat saw, had your, all the things you needed, and you package it up, vacuum sealed it, and you handed it to the client, and they could freeze it or do whatever they wanted to with it. It's just a thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. Later.